Hello there. Hey, Deb over here at the Owen Group and Deb Talks. I am going to be all by myself this week. So bear with me while I visit with you about escrow and or impound accounts. Okay, the nitty gritty, really what it means, what to look for, when to look for it, and how you can help yourself when your escrow analysis is done by paying attention to different things that happen during the year on your home loan. So if you currently put your property taxes or your home insurance in your mortgage payment, there is that account can be either called an escrow account. That's commonly what it's referred to as, and or impound account. So what happens is, of course, with that account, whatever your annual property taxes are and whatever your annual home insurance is, the lender will take that amount divided by 12, goes into your monthly payment. So when the bill is due and payable on either one of those items, the money is there to pay those items out. But here's what happens, and it's so important as a consumer to pay attention to a few things during the year, because lenders are only required to do an escrow analysis on that account one time per year. At Guild Mortgage, we do it every January and February. So that's when we do it, no matter when those things are due during the year. If you have an Idaho housing type of loan, I know they do it on the anniversary of the month you closed your loan. So if you closed in May, they're going to be doing an escrow analysis every May. If you closed in October, they're going to be doing one October. So it's just important that you know when your escrow analysis is done. And then again, what happens during the year is a few things. One, in June of every single year, every county sends out what's called the tax assessment. Okay, it's an assessed value of what is going to your property's going to be your current property. Anyways, the current value of your property. I'm sorry. But what happens is, and I pulled one from 2000. Well, I'll just kind of hide a few things here. So this is a tax assessment. Pretty easy. And what it will do is it gives you what your property is. It gives you a breakdown of your land, your home, your any structures, and it will give you last year's value, and it's going to give you current value for 2000 and this year 24. Okay, so nothing actually will happen with your escrow and or impound account because of this, but pay attention to what it's doing, because if the value did increase, and typically year over year, you're going to see an increase in that assessed value, what happens is the billing for the current year for property taxes in the state of Idaho do not go out until November of that year. June, you're going to be shown what the new value is, so you can anticipate potentially increase in property taxes, or it can also decrease in property taxes simply based on the value. Okay, so in June, that's all you need to look for, is what that new tax assessment is going to be. Keep it handy, keep it with some important documentation, because in November, in the state of Idaho, in November, that's when county taxes are actually billed for that current year. Yes, you heard me correctly. In November of every year is when the new levies, everything come out that's going to change. Every county will have different ones, every city, every school, all the different levies that are inside the homeowner's address. Those levies come out, and then in November, you're going to get an actual bill. Well, if it's in your payment, it looks like a bill, and it'll say bill, but it'll tell you that your lender's paying it. They change that a little bit every single year. But if it's in your mortgage payment, I guarantee you your mortgage lender is getting a copy of that also. And then what happens is it's going to show you again what the old tax amount was and what the new property taxes are going to be. And those are due and payable in 2 installments. And they're due and payable in by December of that year. So you're going to get the bill in November, and the first half installment for the current year. So I'm just going to explain that to you. So November, you're going to be told what your new tax amount is. And in December of 2024, they'll pay the first half of 2024 taxes. So what will be paid out in December is January 1st through June 30th of that year. And then what will happen in June of the next year, so in June 2025, that other half installment will be paid out, and that installment will be from July 1st through December 31st for 2024. But it's not paid. Our property taxes are paid 6 months in the arrears. Okay. But what you can do is pay attention again, because what will happen is when you get an escrow analysis done on your account, if your property taxes have increased, especially significantly, your payment is going to increase. And depending on how much, it could depend on if it's a significant increase or a smaller increase. But paying attention to that, you might be able to avoid any type of increase if you can see by your taxes that, oh, my taxes might have increased a couple $100 for the year. You can pop a couple $100 in that escrow account really quick. And then when you then analysis is done, then that money's not short. So you're not making up past money and increasing what the new tax rule is. So if you pay attention to that, you might be able to alleviate a higher mortgage payment when the analysis is done. Make sense? I know. Taxes are fun, right? When you have questions, just yell at me. I'm here. Even if I don't have your loan, I'm here to help walk you through it. Sometimes it's easier to walk through when we're actually looking at a document. Then the other thing, and this is what really gets a lot of people on the escrow account. Home insurance, of course, will be renewed every single year. And it will be renewed typically about 30 days before the current policy expires. So it can be renewed anytime during the year. Pay attention to when yours renews. Okay, so for an example, on the one that I have in my hand, this one will renew March of every single year, unless they change their insurance, and it could renew later, but pay attention to that. So when you get the renewal, if this renews in March, more than likely you will be getting updated insurance information on what your new annual premium is in February. If yours renews in August, you'd probably get it in July. If yours renews in July, you'd get it in June. See what we're going here? Because home insurance has to be paid for a full 12 months in advance. So that's why we pay out a full year premium every time the bill changes. But again, pay attention, and especially the last couple of years where the insurance premiums continue to increase. Because again, what will happen is a mortgage company, when they get that bill, let's say I get it in, as the mortgage company, we get the bill, say in March, to pay out, to have your policy renew from April to April. So we're going to pay it out. We had been collecting, and a lender is going to be collecting based off last year's billing. That's all we can do. So then we get a new bill, and let's say last year's was $1,500 for a year, and now your new insurance premium for the next year goes up to $2,000 a year. We're not going to do an analysis right away unless you ask us to do that, because we've already done an analysis that year. So pay attention, because if you do see that increase, you're going to want to add more than what's currently being done in your escrow account for your home insurance. The easiest way to do it is once that pays out, ask your mortgage lender what's another analysis and increase my payment right then, so that you're not that much further behind and have even a larger increase in payment when analysis is done. Now, if your insurance goes down, that's great. If it goes up, you might want to also, if it goes down, especially significantly, also do an analysis on that. But they're only required, again, to be done once a year. And if it renews after the analysis is done and you see that it's going to be a significant increase, you would want to, I would highly encourage you right then to take charge of that excuse me, I can't even talk today, in analysis account, that escrow account, because if you wait a full year and let's say it went from 1,500 to 2,000, that's 500 for the year. 500 divided by 12 doesn't seem like a big increase, but remember, we're already going to be short and we're going to assume that it's going to even increase more the next year. And so your payment would be increasing a lot more than if you had paid attention to what these increases are and taken care of them then. I know, again, very confusing, but it is so important to pay attention to what that escrow account is being done in that escrow account once a year for property taxes for the actual dollar amount, once a year for home insurance. I guarantee you your insurance company and the county that you live in is sending you, the homeowner, the same information that they're asking the lender to look at and pay on your behalf. It's just mortgage lenders are only required to do an analysis one time a year on an account. So again, pay attention to that, because again, you can help alleviate a significant increase in payment by taking care of it when it happens and not waiting 7 or 8 or 9 or 12 months before you take care of that shortage that might be happening. I'm not saying there's always going to be a shortage, but just be paying attention. So that is a very quick overview on what an escrow and or impound account will do and how you can help manage that on your own personal mortgage by paying attention. And you have the right to shop for home insurance. And honestly, I would highly encourage you to reach out to your current home insurance company, visit with them, get anything updated. Things can change. You can add square footage to your house. You might add a garage. Things can change in your life year over year that you need to be sitting down with your insurance agent and visiting with them about that. And then, it never hurts to shop around to see what could be available out there if you feel like that's the need to do. So anyhow, quick analysis or a quick overview on that. If you have questions, reach out to me. I'm happy to help answer them. And it is the 4th of July week, actually one of my very favorite weeks of the year. So I hope you have a very safe and happy 4th of July.